Good evening and welcome to the Planning and Infrastructure Committee. I'm only chairing it this evening because as yet we haven't got chairs of the meetings yet. That's going to be done on the 25th. So I'm only standing in as no one else has been elected yet. So if I may, and to welcome any viewers that we have online and welcome everybody to the meeting. Item 1, apologies. I've got apologies from Councillor Huxley and Councillors Linda and Stuart Piper. Has anybody else got any apologies from anybody? That was a no then, thank you. Anybody got any declarations of interest on the items this evening? That's a no as well, thank you. Item 3, minutes. That's to approve the minutes of the meeting of the Planning and Infrastructure Committee held on the 13th of April 2022 as a true record. Can I have a proposer, please? Councillor Austin, and a seconder, please. Councillor Green, thank you. In favour? Thank you. Item 4, planning applications. First planning application is for 4446 High Street. And Dean, if you get that up for us, thank you. Okay, as you can see, it's for a change of use from commercial premises to 4 residential apartments, together with the erection of a rear extension and alterations to fenestration, open brackets, windows, close brackets. Okay, anybody got any comments they wish to make?
Do you want Dean to go through?
Yeah, Dean, do you want to go through it? I don't know who called it in.
This was from
Councillor Mackie.
last meeting because we hadn't had the validation period yet. So as you may recall from the last meeting, this is next door to the other high street property, and this is exactly the same development where they're filling in at the back. So the previous development was filling in that side.
Right.
It's doing exactly the same
On the other.
where they're filling in the back. So we're using the stairwell of the other development to access this. And they're just converting it to the bedrooms.
Okay.
But it's mimicking the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a shame that we didn't have it at the last meeting because they would be.
Taking it into, yeah.
So for the last application, that's what we commented, but
Yeah.
they passed it.
Yeah, just to remind members that the reason that Councillor Max has called it in is in relation to overdevelopment, and that we decided on the previous application that we were not against the application in principle, but a reduction of number of flats would be more appropriate along with better waste storage, if that reminds members of that. Councillor Austin?
So do we know why it's come back if TDC granted permission for the previous application?
It's a different property.
So this is the previous application that we're talking about here is the next door property?
Yeah.
That's right. So
Okay.
it's the
Sorry.
same. It's the same.
It's exactly the same.
It's basically a mirror.
A mirror version.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think they're already occupied, these flats, judging by the people I see going in the front door all the time.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
People always been living there.
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah, they just,
Councillor Wynne?
Is that the property I saw all 6 wheelie bins outside of recently? And I meant to go back up and check. I thought they might just be out for the bin collection, have been put out.
It may well be.
I need to go back up there and have a look.
They're not normally out.
it's, sorry, Chair, I think is it behind Argos, that corner one, isn't it? That's the alleyway where they keep it. Yeah, so there are quite a few bins, but they don't all belong to the same building though. Because I did receive some complaints before and I went round, it wasn't the residents who were living there.
Okay, what about the application though? Whether they're living there or not is neither here nor there, we need to deal with the application. That's right.
Have we got information about waste storage, so picking up on councillor Williams' point?
There's bike, I see bike storage.
Or still bike storage, I can't see any waste, but it may be too small.
So I believe from the other,
Oh, yeah,
extension where they had
bin
bin storage, these, as you recall from the last application, they did remove that bit, that middle one, but on this plan, they kept that.
They've kept that.
Those are large commercial bins.
Yeah,
They're the big 100 fully bins, yeah.
Okay, councillor Mackinson.
That, front elevation for the Grumpy Goblin, that has not been there for at least 3 years.
No, that's all that was available.
Oh, I see, so it was us that put that up, right?
Councillor Young?
Just wondering what sort of fire exits they've got on there.
At the back.
The back's into an alleyway, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It
yeah.
goes down behind Cavendish Street.
And then all the fire exit issues will be dealt with under the building regulations, so. Any further comments, anybody?
Councillor Green.
Councillor Green?
I'm happy to make a proposal that we repeat that we're not against applications in principle converting the first floor and above to residential. But that this is a conservation area, and we would hope that TDC would address the quality of what's on offer, particularly in terms of waste storage and pressure on town centre parking.
Okay. Is there a seconder for that?
I'll second that.
Yeah. Councillor Wing.
Thank you. Yes, I've got all that, thank you.
Okay, is everybody all right?
Yeah.
Can understand what David said with that? Okay, all in favour of that motion? Thank you, that's
you.
carried, thank you. Right, next item, is 1 Trafalgar Mews, Royal Road, and which is for the installation of UPVC sash windows following the removal of existing timber windows to front elevation. Councillor Austin, Councillor Maxim, Councillor Wing, put this in.
Yeah, I was concerned obviously about the UPVC windows, but I see that there is quite a lot of explanation here about the how they are using the windows, the quality of the windows, etc. And it is that delicate balance, isn't it, about we want people to have access to double glazing to keep their homes warm, etc.
Yeah.
This does look like a good example of UPVC. So I'm in two minds about it.
It's not listed,
No, it's in a conservation area.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a single dwelling?
No,
No, it's in flats, is it?
yeah.
Sorry. I shouldn't.
Councillor Wing.
I think Pat was before me.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
I
Pat.
called that. I'd say it's on the front. That's the only thing. If it's on the back, I wouldn't worry so much.
Well, it's up to you guys, but at the end of the day, you've got to decide what the impact on the conservation area is with it. Councillor Wing, Councillor Green.
I'm against the approval of UPVC sash windows in the conservation area until and if TDC revises their policy towards conservation areas.
Councillor Wing.
This building is quite a magnificent building, actually. This is the HAS area that I did the HAS assessment on, all 12,000 words of it, I might add. It sits in a very interesting, and it sits at the end of, I think 22 Georgian properties, and then you've got mixed heritage as you go along. So it's a very significant street actually in terms of its heritage. And this building is the old Trafalgar Hotel. It does need some refurbishment because they now have a commercial bin sat outside the property, a big commercial bin taken away, so it's suffered from all sorts of waste and rubbish outside. It is in desperate need for some refurbishment, but I mean, I agree with David. We cannot allow UPVC windows in a conservation area until we have updated, TDC has updated its policy. And I am pro the use of sash windows, double glazed sash windows that are in a non-wood, because there are some very fine examples used quite well in other parts of Europe that you wouldn't even notice unless you went up to them. But if we don't have a policy and we're not following the policy, then it opens the door to abuse.
If I could just point out to you that in a single dwelling in a conservation area doesn't need planning consent to put UPVC windows in. No.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that.
No, it is right, isn't it?
That is right.
Can I ask you, Chair, with your knowledge on enforcement, picking up on the business about the bins, etc., if TDC grants permission to somebody to do a particular alteration, and that includes bin storage internally and whatever, and they constantly leave their bins outside, what recourse do residents or TDC have to do something about that?
Well, there is. I mean, we currently, we're getting away from the application here, but currently in Augusta Road, and we've got issues with people because most of the road have seagull-proof bags because they can't have the
seagull-proof,
because there's multiple occupancy flats. Currently, because people are not taking the bags in and they're getting overflow, everything, blah blah blah. Anyway, the street scene enforcement team can take action, which they have done in Augusta Road by serving notices on all the properties in Augusta Road, and if they breach those notices, then they can be fined.
Right. So the same would be true.
So it would be the same, yeah.
If an application goes through with internal storage.
Yeah, and also it depends on what the condition is. The condition says on the planning consent that whether it says they must be stored here at all times except for when they're put out on a collection date.
Whichever day, okay, thank you.
Pat, did you want to come?
No, I was just.
Oh, sorry, I thought you had your hand up there.
No, I'm just waving it down.
Okay. David, did you want to make that, make that to put forward and a seconder?
Second that.
I think we need to say that we're not obviously for clear environmental reasons, the use of double glazing in a conservation area, but we need a policy.
We need a proper policy.
We need a proper policy, and actually I'd like to see the windows. I'd like to physically see them.
Okay, so
Okay, so all in favour? Thanks, Joe. Thank you. It's carried. Right, number 3, 70 London Road. Councillor Mackinson called it in about concern of overlooking. It's for the erection of a first floor extension to rear and side of the dwelling following demolition of existing garage and previous ground floor extension.
The reason the neighbour was objecting to overlooking, but he has since, or she has since withdrawn the objection.
Okay.
Because he's sensibly talked to the people who are doing the thing and decided that it's not a problem after all.
Okay, well, let's have a look if we can go through it then while we've got it.
The extension will come out to here, so as you can see, there's like kind of a pre-existing extension coming out for other developments. So it is existing footprint, and that's it.
Okay.
So this is the existing plan, so what we're going to do is come out, remove the garage and we just make it into.
All right.
There are windows to the side right, which would be the overlooking, but that's just one window onto
Depends what the room is.
Yeah.
Obviously, the room on the neighbour's side as to what kind of level of room that is. It could be a kitchen. Whatever.
There's a nice space in between.
Okay.
There's going to be a space there.
Anybody got any comments?
I would propose we have no objection.
No. I second that.
Seconder?
I second that.
Rochelle seconds. All in favour? That's carried, thank you. Right, item 4 is 23 Donahue Road, erection of a single-storey front extension with conversion of existing garage to habitable accommodation, together with the erection of a single-storey rear extension following demolition of the conservatory. And again, councillor Mackinson's called this in and the reasons did no windows to the lounge or dining room.
Have we got,
That sounds a
can we
bit,
see that plan a bit bigger at all?
Yeah, so,
Because they've put the kitchen going out the back and a utility room next to it,
Yep.
which cuts off any windows to the lounge and dining room apart from borrowed light through the kitchen. So I thought that was a bit weird.
yeah, so they're adding that bit on where there's a front window from the dining room, and then you've got this bit at the front. So, yeah, you're right, but they're putting a flat sky roof in the kitchen, but there's no windows here for the lounge or dining room.
right,
And what they're putting in for the study, they're putting in Velux windows.
Yes.
But in the middle of the house, there's no natural light, unless you take it from the kitchen and beams in them.
It's the,
they got to live in it, haven't they?
the utility room is really an odd place. It cuts off their access to the garden and the window and everything.
I have to admit, to be the owner of a dining room that has no natural light, because it has a bit of a conservatory straight onto it with a glass roof, and it is a bit of a dark room, but it's a lot smaller than that, so
Yeah.
it's manageable.
Yeah.
But the idea of both of those rooms, it's quite a big space
It is.
with no natural light, seems a bit odd.
Councillor
I
Reed?
thought there was some sort of building regs, because I had this situation in my house, I couldn't do what I wanted to do because it was pointed out by the architect that there wouldn't be natural light coming into a room that you live in. And it was particularly bedrooms and living rooms. So maybe we need some clarification
Well,
on,
just so, I mean, we're not talking about building regs here, you're dealing specifically with the planning application, the building regs don't come into it at all. And if under the building regulations, they don't think it's suitable, then they will either have to change it or come in with a new application. But the planners have got to deal with what's in front of them, so,
they must take building regulations into account.
no,
See, this is where I think TDC is.
it's nothing to do with TDC, but it's to do with
But it's not
under the
joint
Planning
thinking,
Act.
is there? So we waste time at one meeting to then build another group of people to say no when it could have been addressed at this meeting. It just doesn't make sense to me at all.
Well, have a word with your MP, he's the only one who can change it.
That might be a bit difficult.
Could we just have a look at how it fits on the plot?
So it would be coming out like the neighbouring property. And then that would be, where you've got here as well, that would be drawing coming straight out. So it'd be straight out like that neighbouring property and then straight across.
They've done their homework, haven't
Is there adequate parking if they get rid of their garage?
I believe there's parking at the side here for vehicles and along the front of the road.
I'm not sure, sorry,
Pat, yeah.
whether do we have any grounds to object to it, just because I'm to the front.
Well, no, it's up to you guys, whether you come up with something, it's entirely up to you, whether, what it is that you want to say.
Can I propose that we raise no objection but express some concerns about the lack of natural light in those two rooms?
Agree.
I'd second that because that's what I was putting my hand up to say exactly.
That needs looking at by building regs.
Okay. Okay, we have a proposal. It's been seconded, so all in favour of that proposal? That's carried, thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5,
Bernie Street Workshop.
it's a workshop, 21 Hibernia Street, which is a change of use from a commercial workshop and 2 flats to 6 one-bedroom and 2 two-bedroom flats with the erection of a first and second floor extensions, 4 dormer windows to the rear and replacement of windows and roof tiles and alterations to the fenestration. Now, I called this in because I was concerned about the very large impact on the conservation area and as to how access was going to be gained. It's massive.
Yeah.
So I'll go through these plans. So that's it as existing, 3D view, and this is what they propose. So they're going to level it up with the existing houses, and at the back they're bringing it in as opposed to when the factory was just there.
It doesn't change much, does it? It's
It's
the
the
amount of
number
people.
of
The number.
dwellings.
Yeah.
Packing them in, isn't it?
Could you
Packing
go
them in.
back, Dave, just a second?
Go back.
Yeah.
And
Which is Hibernia Street?
The back Camden Square.
Around the corner.
On there.
Oh, it's that one.
Is it the long side of the properties or the short side?
So, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hibernia Street's this side.
Okay.
See, that seems to me very near to the road, is it?
It's on the road though.
It's on the road. Right,
You know when you go up Hibernia Street and you turn right, everything's
where the
cheek by jowl there.
City Club is at the bottom. It's there, everything.
But
The
it was set back a bit, wasn't it?
No, that's
They're all
the building.
straight on to
It's
the,
the same.
Is it?
yeah.
Okay.
That's Brenda.
I'm very aware, like Councillor Orban, that we've got some residents who are not happy about this development. I mean, looking at those pictures, visually, what's planned is quite in keeping with the area. One of the issues that has been raised by the residents is the loss of commercial unit and the impact on potential commercial roles and jobs. I'm not sure that's actually a valid planning issue. And I'm wondering what a commercial unit's doing in the middle of a housing area anyway. So I'm not sure that those issues they're raising. But I do have a problem with yet more housing in another area that is yet still cramped with yet no parking.
Exactly.
In an area that's already
It's already very.
very difficult, that particular area. As I think Councillor Green will know.
Cottage Road and all around there, there's no
Oh, it's
parking.
hopeless.
I mean,
So
this is
hopeless.
the block on the corner, isn't it, that
Yes.
was recently sold?
Yes.
Yeah.
Property.
So does this fall with, sorry,
Hang on a minute, Councillor Magnuson.
Well, I was
It
going to
is,
say that
That's not on there.
we do have a policy for building on these brownfield
Changed, the
sites,
front of it hasn't changed.
rather than taking up farmland
It's just an existing building.
and stuff. I do think it's a bit crowded in, especially that blue thing in the middle with the bedroom off in the limb, and it's got very little outside space. But it is a brownfield site, and apparently it's been empty for a long time.
Yeah.
And we ought to be doing something with it. Parking is not we're not allowed to take that into consideration, are we?
Well, you can take it into consideration, it's just, that the KCC highways would look at, because it's in a town centre
Yeah,
per se, that there is enough access to public transport, such as so as not to have to provide parking.
yeah.
Councillor Crittenden,
Sorry, I
Councillor
actually
Austin.
wanted to ask, was actually on that parking in the town centre bit. What's the boundary where, as far as planning applications are concerned, we do not have to consider parking under planning applications?
I don't know.
Because I would have thought that this was far enough out to have not fallen within that.
I can't answer that, I don't know.
No, if you come up from,
Behind Wellington
it's
Crescent.
not far, is it?
Councillor Austin, Councillor Young and then Councillor Wynne.
Can I propose that we congratulate the applicant on the appearance, the external appearance of the building, which is entirely in keeping with the rest of the street, but express concerns about overdevelopment and parking?
Bin stores.
I'd,
No, there is a bin store
Bin stores, bikes,
on the ground floor.
I'd second
Yeah, I
that.
think there are.
just so overcrowded, that area.
Yeah,
The top left-hand corner is a bin store.
Okay.
Aesthetically, it looks quite attractive.
It does, doesn't it?
Can we, sorry, members, can we just, as other members who want to speak, Councillor Young?
Just wondering, is there a set amount of space that is given for one person to live in? You know,
This is the stuff that
There are room sizes, yes, there are room sizes that, they're not specific and you must adhere, it's that they have a
living.
certain cubic capacity that they think is the right one to actually use, but on occasions, if they're slightly smaller, then they may use that, yeah.
So do we know that these come within that size?
Excuse me, can we just have one meeting, please? Councillor Wynne, did you want to come back at all? Because you had your hand up. Hello?
Oh, I was going to say bin stores, and I think he's just on the minimums actually looking at that.
It is.
So I was going to say, are they there, the bin stores?
The top left-hand corner, yeah.
Okay, you've got a proposal and it's been seconded. Councillor Green, did you want to speak?
Just, could we ask for a condition, that TDC imposes to make sure that the fenestration is suitable for a conservation area?
Yeah? Yeah, can do that. Are you saying, wooden frames or? Because they're going to say what's suitable. That's the only thing. I know what they'll do. So, without seeing the actual drawings of fenestration, don't know whether it's supposed to be wooden or whatever it is. Is it on there, Dee? On the application, fenestration?
I was just suspicious that where it says alterations to fenestration.
Yeah. Un momento. Un momento.
Windows. UPVC.
Yeah,
metal, aluminium, crystal stuff, yeah, that's what it looked like to me, those.
yeah.
That's what sort of.
So knowing that, David, would you want to put that as a condition that they should be wooden and not wooden framed and not as shown on the application?
Well, we can ask, can't we?
Yeah, why not? Councillor Wing, you wanted to say?
Can I go back to one flat is right on the mark here?
Yeah,
I just want to
37.
check. So you can reduce, this is a really good document actually that Laura found. So a flat can be reduced from 39 square metres to 37 square metres if, where a one-person flat has a shower room rather than a bathroom.
This one is,
But it's
Has a shower room.
bedroom, right?
this flat is 39.
39.
Is it, or is it 37?
37.
37.
Yeah.
I ain't got the glasses. Okay.
I mean, I'd still like to express some concerns that that for that one particular flat, they are right on the edge of, they're on the minimum requirement, which, you know, they could get rid of that one flat and then create a bit more room for everybody else, so, yes.
Well, we actually got a motion here at the moment, proposal at the moment, councillor.
I would say that critical windows are very, very suitable for a building like this.
Yeah.
And that to insist on them replacing them with timber windows would be a bit, I've lost my word.
No, we'll find it in a minute. We'll find it in a minute. Well, I think you've got a proposal from councillor Green. Up to councillor Green whether he wants to change that, and councillor
I
Austin.
think it depends if we want to preserve the conditions of the area or not.
Or the
And I think we do.
building. Yeah. It's an industrial.
Councillor Nixon.
Aren't we replacing the UPVC that they're suggesting with wooden? So it says wooden on the ground floor, UPVC on the top floor,
It's
plus griddle windows. I think what councillor Green was saying is the UPVC should be wooden, not griddle windows should be wooden.
No, isn't it the existing windows that are wooden?
existing.
PVC, and what they want to do, looking at this, is griddle windows throughout, metal throughout.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Industrial style.
Beg your pardon.
I think probably the planners would go for that, because it was an industrial building. I would think that they would go for it, but however, it's not for me. You've got a motion. What's the,
Okay, councillor Austin proposed that RTC congratulates the applicant on the appearance of the building, which is in keeping with the area. However, expresses concern with reference to overdevelopment and parking in that area, with an addition from councillor Green to ask for a condition that the fenestration is suitable for the conservation area, that TDC checks that, i.e. wooden as opposed to aluminium.
Can I add
Are you-
an amendment to it?
and a memento, are you happy, councillor Austin, to add councillor
I'm
Green's?
happy with the bit about checking that it is suitable for a
Fenestration.
conservation area, but I would rather we didn't specify wooden rather than aluminium for myself. I think I agree with councillor Makinson that actually for that building, the aluminium would probably be quite suitable.
Yeah, well, I think
Can we take the two bits separately?
you can if you want to, yeah. Then what I would suggest is then that we take councillor Austin's proposal first.
Okay, that's no problem. So that proposal is to congratulate the applicant on the appearance.
Amendment first.
Well, only the fact that, David, that she's not accepting your amendment.
Well, she doesn't have to.
No, but what I'm saying is if you get the substantive and then if you want to
But if
discuss and add that on.
Does, then it's carried, isn't
I
it?
think you've got to vote on the
Yeah.
amendment.
I think we should vote.
Okay, we'll vote on the amendment. We'll vote on the amendment which was for.
The amendment as it stands is to ask for a condition to be put on the approval that the fenestration is suitable for the conservation area, i.e. wooden windows as opposed to aluminium. That's as it stands, if you want to vote on that.
Okay, so let's vote on that then.
Did
we have a
second?
seconder?
No, we haven't
We got a
got a seconder.
seconder for councillor Green's,
Councillor Young.
councillor Young. Okay, so we've got a proposal on the amendment. So all those in favour of that amendment?
Two.
Two.
So that's-
Those against?
So that
Abstain.
falls.
Thank you. So
The amendment falls,
that
thank you.
amendment falls. Do you want to add something else, councillor
I
Wing?
would like to add an amendment to, and it's flat, I don't know what flat it is, Yeah, so congratulate them, but express strong concerns about
Size.
the size of flat one, which is the minimum floor area requirement.
Yeah.
That is flat one, is it?
Yes, flat one is flat one, which is sadly the minimum required living space area. As Peter would say, slums of the future.
Okay, are you happy to accept that?
Yes.
Okay,
You didn't get a second.
have we got a seconder for that? So, yeah,
Yes.
seconding that.
Thank you. Do you want to vote on that one?
Yeah, so are we all aware of what you're voting on now?
Yeah.
Councillor Austin's proposal plus councillor Wing's amendment. If you're happy with that, because it's been seconded by the proposer. So all in favour, please show. Thank you. Any against? No,
Okay,
thank you very much.
Extension.
Oh, sorry, Pat.
I don't think it's.
You're on my blind side, sorry.
This is the final. This one, you are literally only looking at the basement flat, none of this, it's just the
Yeah.
basement flat,
Yeah,
okay, at the
yeah,
back,
okay.
which is shaded.
Okay, item 6 is 20 to 24 Harbour Street. Part change of use from retail unit to 1 2-bedroomed flat. It's not the whole building, it's just a bit on the bottom. Councillor Crittenden and Councillor Mackinson called this in. Councillor Mackinson.
Apparently there are people trying to rent that shop and they're being rebuffed
Trying to what?
to rent that shop, according to Susie in Nice Things. People have been trying to rent it and are failing to be able to do it.
What, the whole floor space or?
The ground
No,
floor.
I don't know how much.
Yeah, but
But
that's
around the ground floor.
That's not a planning consideration.
No, I know, but it's relevant in that.
So it's the green area, do you want Dean to go through?
Yeah, Dean, would you just go through that for us, please?
It has, consent of 18 from back in 2018. So the bit that they'll be changing is removing this retail space and actually removing this part of the building. So they're going to be removing some of the walls and having that external space open. The bin store's on the ramp going up at the back, so it's all accessible down the side of the building. So there will be a change in retail space. It'll be basically like half.
So there will be a loss of retail space, obviously. Quite a bit by the look of it.
Less than half.
97 square metres.
It's okay.
Councillor Mackinson.
Can we see the section, because it goes up much higher at the back. Those steps. I don't understand that. Yeah, so you got steps and then you go up a ramp.
Yeah, it makes the ramp look very flat, doesn't it? But it is a ramp.
Yeah,
Yeah, you see the dotted line there. where-
they've got a very flashy brochure that goes with this, so they're obviously spending money on.
Dean, what about the picture one where they,
Yeah, so
there we go.
at the back where before they expand out, and there was also loss of light in the previous application, which is what we commented the lack of windows and only partial light coming through the rear unit. They've actually opened that up, so they've actually done it now. So the bottom bit here was a whole light well going into the bedrooms, and they're leaving making the doors the windows.
Below ground.
Councillor Crittenden.
Having seen the glossy brochure, as Councillor Makinson said, they appear to have addressed a good number of the concerns that we raised as regards to the flat, in particular, as Dean has just said, to do with the light. But my concerns still remain for loss of the retail space. I was down in Harbour Street the other day, and I think was I with you?
Lovely.
Harbour Street, rather.
Yes, we did, yeah.
We looked in the window and the dividing wall for the flat is already
It's pretty close to the front, isn't it?
and what's left as a retail space is very small. And there is no toilet or kitchen or any other facilities for staff in that space that's there. I hope that they might be built in. The old shop that was there didn't actually have a toilet. So they used to go down and use outside Weatherspoons or across the road in all the other shops in the area. That's an aside. But it is a very small space, and if you then actually add in the human comforts of needing a cup of tea and a toilet, it's even smaller still. And I'm concerned that whilst they've got evidence from a no relation Clark and Crittenden estate agent saying that they can let small retail units easier than they can let large retail units, and they've got people queuing up for small retail units. This is tiny.
Small and small, isn't it?
Yeah, and that might be what about the long-term future? Because once that's lost, that retail space is lost. It's lost, and that's still my concern. Whatever we talk about the flats.
Anybody else want to speak? Councillor Austin?
I would like to embody in whatever we say our congratulations to them in looking at some of the passive house measures and the rainwater and all of that, which is great. It's lovely to see a developer
Taken
in the town
on.
centre looking at those issues. But I share Councillor Crittenden's concerns about the retail space.
Councillor Young?
There are regulations, aren't they, as to what that space can be used for if they haven't got washing facilities, etc.
Are you talking about for the shops?
Shop, yeah.
Yeah, they would need to be under whatever regulations they are.
Susie can nice.
They'll be able to wash your hands, wouldn't it?
Yeah, she hasn't got a toilet and nice things, which is not ideal, obviously.
Anybody else got anything to say? Make a proposal?
Yeah, I wanted to get round the back to fully understand the levels. And I couldn't because it's locked.
Funny enough, I was about to ask the same thing, because it's all very well having nice sort of like parkland at the back, that makes it look lovely, but I don't actually know what's there, and it's definitely not that. If we could have an aerial view of it at all, please, from the actual, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah.
And the houses at the back, it's, maybe it's like that.
Oh, no, there's
No,
quite a
No,
lot.
and then it's the one opposite,
Heaven and Hell Gifts.
yeah, that's it, yeah, opposite Nice Thing.
Blimey, yes, there is.
More land than I thought.
Sorry.
That does go up.
No,
Because I've
it's
been at
next
the
to
back
it.
of the
It's
estate.
not,
Yeah.
it's not, it's Heaven and Hell Gifts, opposite Nice Thing.
You have got the amount to go, actually.
What's
Yeah.
that big one on above it
Left, the old taxi office is on the right.
with the pitched roof?
That one.
The big.
That was the greengrocers, wasn't
Dunno.
it?
Very tall one's the Thai restaurant. You can see
No, the one next to the parkland, the one at the back,
Wasn't that Paynes
the large one, the one that
or
looks like
Rooks?
a hall.
Paynes or Rooks?
Oh, maybe that is the hall when you got alleyway, the Sikh temple.
The King's Hall.
Yeah.
King's Hall.
Ah, right, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it used to be King's Hall, yeah.
yeah.
So can I look at the residential bit again? Or the lack of it? Do I need to magnify that?
The residential bit's not bad.
There is already a board in there, and there isn't much of a space. There is no facilities in the retail, which is a concern.
No.
There is no washing, that must be health and safety, that must be an issue.
Okay.
Just to add, so yeah, from the existing retail, you had retail, they didn't have toilets at the back.
At the back.
So now that's being removed for the
Yeah.
development, so there will
Those
be.
toilets were not usable.
Sorry?
Those toilets were not usable.
So can we follow Tricia's motion, but add in that we've got grave concerns about a retail unit without staff facilities?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
lots of retail
The
space.
loss of retail
And
space.
a retail unit without
Yeah.
welfare
Yeah.
facilities for staff.
Are there no staff facilities there?
No, there's nothing. There isn't even
No,
a
there
pot
isn't.
to proverbial doing.
Taxi office waiting area, taxi.
There never was anything before.
It's so small, there won't be anywhere to bag your coat, small things like that.
And they've obviously got services in there, because look at the bathroom, they could back onto that. So the services are already there, so they can produce.
Just the other side of that.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you want to add that into your proposal,
Yeah.
Tricia.
This day and age, you should be able to wash your hands.
You should give the council a shut on the public one.
Shall we,
Yeah,
I'm just going to ask Arlene to read out.
So, what I got from what you said, you may need to correct me. Congrats to the developer who has taken into consideration environmental issues for the property. Does that make sense?
And insulation.
For the residential.
For the residential. and
Yeah,
insulation.
Yeah.
Passive house.
Okay, and also additional to that, but raises concerns that retail space is lost and what is left has no staff facilities.
I think, can we have strong concerns?
Yes, and welfare, staff welfare facilities, yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't know if we can add it in, but loss of retail space in what is part of a key development area for the future of.
But I think if you just leave it as loss of retail space, then that in itself is enough. I believe.
It's described as core retail in the,
Core retail isn't.
Core, yeah.
Yeah.
One word is
Primary
core.
Right then.
Retail.
space is lost, okay. Okay, you've got a proposal.
Yeah.
And you've got a route, I need a seconder.
Hang on a minute, guys, please, councillor Matheson.
Does anyone know what that little curved staircase is at the top of the middle drawing?
Existing stairs, brackets recently uncovered.
That is not the way into the flat, is it?
No.
No.
So they uncovered that and they're actually gonna use that as a lighting, they're gonna convert it into a window for the.
Oh, I see.
I'm assuming if you did kick that window out, it would be an emergency exit.
Right, we have a proposal and a seconder, please.
One second.
Crittenden. Okay, you all understand the proposal? All those in favour?
Thank you.
Anybody against? That's carried.
Thank you.
And that concludes the meeting. Thank you very much, everybody.
Announce the date and time of the next meeting.
Oh, yeah, okay. If I could just advise you, the date and time of the next meeting is Wednesday, the 1st of June. Can I just also raise one other thing that I think we might have all seen what Councillor Green had put on in relation to the planning committee of TDC next week in relation to Birch 4 and 5. He's absolutely right. Anybody can go and speak on that, and someone can go and speak on it on behalf of Ramsgate Town Council if they wish to do so. So I don't know if this was a good time for anybody who wants to go and speak on behalf. Pardon?
Can also include the town
You
clerk.
can do, but
No, I'm just saying, it can.
I'm not here either, so I'm not at the meeting. So it's up to anybody who wants to speak on behalf.
I'm on the committee, so.
Yeah,
She's just going to open to go and speak under 20.1
Yeah.
as a councillor,
yeah.
ward councillor for the board.
I don't know enough about it really.
But all I would say is if anybody wants to take that up on behalf of Ramsgate Town Council, then all you need to do is to let the clerk know. Although I'm thinking it might be too late.
No, there's an email from the clerk
I was there. Okay, I haven't seen that.
saying it's okay.
Okay,
If the town clerk or somebody who knows what the town council's position is, I'm happy to,
okay.
but I don't know enough about it myself.
So what you'll need is actually what the town council has said about the births and.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can phone,
We can-
give
We
you,
can fill you in on any other information with regard to the.
you have 3 minutes to speak.
Yeah.